Another podcast. The podcast. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Another Podcast. The podcast. I'm your host, Crystal. Hey, how's it going? How's everyone's doing? I can't talk because I feel like I'm a little overstimulated. Okay, I just took a shower. For those who are watching, my hair is very kind of wet. It's like in the midst dry place. I do air dry my hair because I'm lazy, okay? And also I just feel like it's a little bit more convenient. Hey, so I'm trying to fix my mic because it wasn't working and I was a little scared. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Friday, because this will be out on a Friday, as it should be. And, yeah, I was saying, I feel like I'm a little overstimulated because I just came out of a shower, okay? You could hear the dogs breathing in the, you could hear them. One of my dogs, she's, in the middle of being in heat and, going to start her period, which is TMI, but, she's already super, separation anxious, you know what I mean? She has huge separation anxiety, but, when she's in this time period of her, being, it's just worse, because she constantly needs me to rub, her waist and her back. Also, I made myself bleed somehow. Okay, I have 3 dogs. One of them is my OG. That's the one you could hear right now. Her name is Belle. And, she is huge on, being constantly around me and, being loved by me. Mind you, we hated each other when we first met. I got her in 2022 as a birthday present. It's not like a birthday present, it's more like a fix everything, stop crying about a present, and that's a different story. But, when my mom brought her home and introduced her to me, me and her could not stand each other. I didn't want her. I didn't want her at all, originally in the first year. Sometimes when she pisses me off, I'm like, and that's why I never wanted you. I say that to myself, I don't say that to her. But, she rarely pisses me off now. She just she annoys me more than she pisses me off. But, originally I didn't want her because I was 22, dude. I just recently turned 22 at that age. I was, at that time. I was like, Mom, I'm 22, alright? I'm, literally in the middle of switching jobs. I know I'm not going to take care of her. I know I'm physically aware at this point that I'm not responsible to take care of a dog, okay? I've helped my mom take care of one of our older dogs who have sadly passed away. I helped my sister take care of one of her, another dog who has also sadly passed away. And I also am just, fully aware of, all the stuff that they had to go through as owners, medical bills, food bills, and all that stuff. And I'm just I know I'm not going to be able to provide that for a dog. So I said it's, more of another story. Just to give a gist, I was in mourning of those 2 dogs because they did pass away together. I was in mourning, and I just didn't know how to process it because it was the first time we had dogs, and it was the first time we had pets, and I used to be super scared of dogs. I grew to love them after 2 years of having them, and I did not know it was going to be such a big loss on me, but it was a huge loss on me. I was crying for months, and every time I saw a video of a dog, I was crying and crying and crying. Can you not, bro? I'm recording and I could hear you. I was just mourning a lot, and my 22nd birthday did not go the way I wanted it to be planned. It did not. It was just a big pile of terrible, different, I had high expectations and it all went really wrong on my 22nd birthday. So imagine me already in sorrow for mourning over my. Why are you yelling at me? This is the only thing that pisses me off. She yells at me. Girl. Stop that. Relax. You relax. Where was I? Oh yeah, so imagine me as a newly fresh 22-year-old around that year. I was in full sorrow, mourning over these 2 dogs. I was crying literally every single night. I have, like, Snapchat videos of me crying. I purposely would make myself cry because I just felt like all of the tears I was shedding for them was never enough. And, who would have thought I was going to be crying? Well, it was, it's like a first loss that's actually happened that you're, like, aware of, All of the passings we've had in our family that I can recall, I was a little under 10 years old, you know what I mean? Like, I've never witnessed an actual passing thing. You know what I mean? Like, when you're those young ages, you don't really process that these people in your life are gone. Or, sometimes they're people you're not that close with. So, it's like you mourn, but at the same time, it never hits you as hard because it's not your intermediate family. The dogs were more of, like, my intermediate family because we fucking raised them. And it just happened way too, not soon, because they were older dogs, but, like, it was everything that happened with the both of them. The way the consequence, like, the way those things happened with those two. Because they had, like, a good 5-year gap between them. But, like, it's crazy that they both had to pass away at the same time. Yeah, so imagine me, like, fully sorrow mourning, and then at the same time having the one day that you're looking forward to after crying yourself to sleep for so many days, so many nights. The one day you look forward to doesn't go the way you planned. And it's not the one day. I should have corrected that. It's 2 days, because I had 2 separate celebrations. I had one with my family, and then I had one on the weekend of the same week with my friends. And both of those days did not go the way I wanted them to go as planned. It's just like the day of my birthday, I didn't do anything that I wanted because my mother had priorities and did not, like, and I told her, I was like, Mom, I know this isn't gonna, what you're gonna do right now, it's gonna be a big way of me doing what I want to do. And we've always come to an understanding that my birthday is something like, I celebrate things on my birthday by doing things I want to do. You know what I mean? We've both come to an agreement, like, with that since I was, like, 15, so I told her, I was like, Mom, what you're going to do right now, I know it's going to take hours for you to do, and it's going to be in a way of me doing what I want to do for my birthday. And she would just constantly, like, tell me these fucking huge, like, it's like they're lies just to get me to stop talking, And she would just be like, trust me, we're going to be over in, like, an hour tops. Like, it's not going to, don't worry, you're still going to get your free stuff from Manhattan, because that's what I wanted to do. And, we ended up sitting there for 6 hours, and we were late to the reservation that we had for my dinner. We didn't do anything that I wanted to do planned. My hair wasn't coming out the way that I wanted it to. My makeup wasn't coming out the way I wanted to. I was fucking on the verge of tears before I even stepped out of the fucking house. And I was like, you know what? It's gonna be fine. The dinner was amazing. I'm not gonna complain about that. The dinner was amazing. I had a good time at the dinner. But then come home that day. Hey, I'm gonna try to... Okay, so last episode, every time I played it back in the beginning, I did hear, like, slob sounds. And that's because my other dog, okay, he's here right now. His name is Java. He's a Frenchie. He loves to, like, lick his paws, like, clean himself. The motherfucker thinks he's a fucking cat, so... all the slobbering sounds you're hearing, that's him, bro. And I'm trying to get him to, like, not do it as much because I could still hear it. And I don't want to hear it into playback. Belle's here, by the way. I don't like breathing in the mic because it sounds fucking weird. Anyways. Yeah, we came home after that reservation thing. And, I ended up getting into an argument with my mom because I was crying. She was the only reason that she was the only person that triggered me crying, because she was like, you're so ungrateful because we did this big dinner and you're still complaining about how this and this and that and the third. I'm like, yeah, I'm complaining because I had a list of things that I wanted to do. I'm gonna cry right now just thinking about it because I get so frustrated with my emotions. There's a list of things I wanted to do and I couldn't do any of that shit because you kept telling me, hey, we're gonna be out here in an hour, in 30 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes. We stood there, and I don't want to, like, say what we stood in there for 6 hours for, because what my mom did that day was technically kind of controversial. And trust me, every time she does that thing that she does, my friends know what I'm talking about. Every time she does that thing that she does, I get into a whole big argument about her, and she she's so fucking stubborn. Like, she just chooses to do it regardless. At this point, I'm thinking she's just doing it because she wants to, like, fucking see how emotional I get about it, you know? It just annoys me. That's why I get so emotional about it. I'm like, why? It's just so annoying. Anyways, yeah, she's, like, blaming me. She's like, you're so ungrateful, like, this big dinner, and you're here still complaining about it? Like, what the fuck? And I'm just, like, crying. I'm like, I'm complaining about it because I had a list of things to do. And you still wanted to do the thing that you wanted to do on my birthday. Like, does that not sound wrong? I was interrupted because I got a phone call, and I'm pretty sure it's because my family just ordered Chinese food, so I think the guy just called me to see that I didn't pick it up because I didn't know what the fuck it was. But I'm pretty sure it was the Chinese food. Anyways, what I was talking about, there's this generational, I can't talk. There's kind of sort of form of generational trauma that's like, damn, I lost my train of thought. But, like, I remember the last thing I said was generational trauma. It's like the blame is backhanded and it's, like, flipped and it's pointed towards you. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I've learned that my mom does a lot, and I'm gonna cry thinking about it because, bro, oh my god. I didn't want to cry. This is, like, literally second episode, 10 minutes in, I'm already crying. I don't want to cry, but, like, when you realize your mom's been doing this your whole life, bro, like, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? I don't want to cry. I'm just gonna change the topic. But basically, that's the story of how I ended up with this one. Because I was crying in that argument with her. And she was, like, the end of that argument, she was like, what do you want me to do? Get you a dog? No! I don't want you. I'm literally telling you how I don't want a dog. Why is that your answer? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's, oh my god, I don't want to cry. Like, I should literally be going to therapy about this. But, like, that was always her answer for everything. That was always her answer for everything. If we got into an argument about something, she would just be like, she would come, like 4 days later and be like, hey, look, I got you this because I thought you were gonna like it. That's not gonna excuse the fact that there's, like, you know, like, you're blaming me for my own feelings. That's basically what she's doing. And this is just, like, this giant mess, dude. I did not want to cry. That's how I ended up with her, basically. Like, that's the storyline of how I ended up with my own dog for the first time at the fresh age of 22. And she surprised me that day that I was having already a not so fun of a day with my friends. Like, that was another thing. For my 22nd birthday, I had, like, this giant plan. I was, like, there was a dress code and everything, and I bought this expensive $200, $300 dress that I paid with my own money for. And, like, $60 pairs of shoes. And I did my hand, I did my nose, my nose. I did my toes, my nails, my everything. And I did my hair all nice and pretty. I bought this crown that was, like, $20 on Amazon. But, like, I gassed everything up. And there was a dress code. And I invited, like, 7 friends tops. All of them that entire morning that I was getting ready for that event that I had plans with my friends. Every single one of them was, like, it was, like, a fucking chain effect. Like, it was text message, I can't go, sorry. Text message, can't go, something came up. Text message, hey, we're not gonna be able to make it. And it was just like, boom, 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 boom. And at the same time, I'm in the middle of putting on my lipstick, setting my whole makeup, like, with setting spray. I'm just like, at this point, I shouldn't even fucking go anymore because who's gonna show up? Me? Show up to a reservation for 8 people? What the fuck? So, it was all of that piled up on top of another. And then my mom FaceTimes me in the middle of the day. And she's like, hey, what are you gonna name her? What? What are we even talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean you're getting me a dog? Like, what the fuck? After I exquisitely told you, with tears running down my face, I don't want a dog. Oh my god! It's just like one of the things that I feel like shaped me, but like also gave me so much emotional damage at the same time. Because it shaped me because it made me realize what kind of person my mom is. And it also, like I said, to the fact that I'm still crying about it, actually. You know, it just gave me so much emotional damage. But I look at her, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you so much. I don't know what to do without you. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, they really say dogs are like a girl's best friend or like a man's best friend. I love them so much. I don't want to cry. I keep saying that and I keep crying. And it's just like, it's worse because like, okay, so my other dog, like I told you guys, my dog Jamba, he is an offspring of my grandmother's Frenchie and my uncle's Frenchie. And they had a total of 10 babies, but we lost 5 of them. Unfortunately, due to like, you know, breathing and just like birth problems. And right before they turned right after they turned a year old, unfortunately their dad passed away, or we had to put him down. Oh my god, it just hurts so much, you know? And he was only 3 years old, so it's just like, it's so much. Now, like, raising these dogs now, there's nothing I would do for them. And I'm literally trying to work my ass off in the middle of me not having a job to pay as many bills as I can, keep their vaccines up to date, feed them with anything possible. Like, I'm trying to not lose them so soon. Because it's just, you know, like, all of these deaths that we had with our past dogs, like, it just opened my eyes so much. I don't want to lose them. This is just a big crying session. Oh my god, I did not want to cry. But, like I said, I would do anything for them now. I look at them now. I look at her now. I'm just like, you literally are my best friend. Like, she's sitting here in the corner of my bed watching me cry every time I feel like I'm not a good person. Every time I feel like I lose my friends, like I feel like I'm the problem in like a lot of these situations. She's just always there, like helping me cry it out. She's like, girl, shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, can I please just cuddle you and cry myself to sleep? Also, she hates cuddling. That's like, I'm gonna try to stop crying, but yeah, she hates cuddling. That's not how I wanted to start this episode. If I'm being completely honest, I wanted to talk about 2 things. So I'm gonna try to wipe my tears. Realistically, this would be such a good time for a commercial break, but unfortunately, I have no sponsors. So I would not be putting myself on a commercial break. I was supposed to put on lip gloss, and I never did. But, yeah, so, oh my god, guys, welcome, I guess, 20 minutes deep, welcome to the second episode of another podcast, the podcast. I never gave you guys a synopsis of what this podcast is gonna be, but literally, it's gonna be me talking about whatever the fuck I want, because I have way too many hobbies, way too many interests, and I have a lot of opinions. I talk a lot. My friends and I, oh my god, let me take this deep breath. My friend Alize added me to this shared album that she has with her friends, and I've been posting on there. Like, cause, you know, shared albums, you just record a video or a picture, and you, like, send it to the shared album. They could all, like, comment on it and stuff. I think that's such a pretty cool, I never knew that we could do that with Apple, but that's pretty cool. And, sorry, I had to burp. And, oh my god, I can't believe I fucking cried. Dude, oh my god. I did not want, I was like, if I'm gonna cry, I'm probably gonna cry, like, 10 episodes deep, bro. But that's the thing, I can't talk about my emotions because I get so frustrated that I let myself go through all of those things when I could have easily fixed everything. And if I was better and easier and, like, caring and careful with my emotions as in my entire life, I probably wouldn't, because I cry at everything now. And I think it's because oh my god, I'm gonna cry again. I think it's because I didn't allow myself to cry at anything at all before I was 22. I would force myself to hold back any emotion whatsoever because I was constantly in arguments with my entire family, and I always knew that if I showed emotion, they would think I'm they would think I'm sort of, like, manipulating them into, like, making them feel bad because I'm crying. Oh my god. Anyways, let me continue the episode before I cry again. Because I'm literally just, like, fucking yapping and, like, giving a whole therapy session to myself. Let's take a deep breath. Guys, my drink for today is orange juice. I did not get Dunkin' today. Because I actually got Duncan 2 days ago. I was planning to record this episode 2 days ago. And so much shit happened. I had to, like, deep clean my house for 2 days straight because we had something with the house coming in soon. So every time I was gonna sit down and record, I was like, no, I have to clean. You know, like, I can't just take an hour of not cleaning and then... Why is she texting me? What does she want? What is that? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry, my friend just texted me. I got her back into makeup. She was like... We had, like, this whole rant last weekend about makeup because I could literally sit here and talk about makeup, which is what I was getting into. We have that shared album, and I've been posting on it. Yesterday, I posted, like, 2 videos that are, like, 10 minutes long each, and I was literally just fucking yapping my ass off about blushes and highlighters. And I'm like, bro, I could literally sit here and talk about makeup for fucking hours. So, that's why I have this podcast, because I could talk about anything for hours. Oh, she's not gonna come on Monday. I mean, on Sunday. Damn. Oh my god. Anyways. Woo! Let's be so serious. So, 2 things I wanted to talk about today. Intentionally. Like, shit that I actually had intended for. I actually don't know how long I've been going at it. So, I'm gonna start a timer. I spent 10 minutes, so that's 20 minutes already. Take off 10. Sorry, I'm trying to put a timer on. Take off another 10. Okay, we should start there. 4:10. Okay. Also, I'm gonna try to not, like... Okay, I'm gonna try to not look at my text messages. So sorry, chat. I did not want to do that. Okay, 2 things I wanted to talk about intentionally. Also, let me get this out of the way. So I've been posting, if you guys don't follow the podcast's accounts, I have a TikTok and an Instagram for my podcast, and I've been posting, like, little highlights of, like, audios, you know, highlight clips, I should say. I had to burp, my bad. Of the said episode, and the second one I posted last week for the first episode was a clip about me talking about Sadie Sink and what I think she would be casted in Spider-Man 4. I have to burp. So if you guys didn't watch, what you should watch, it's not as emotional as this one was, but please go watch it. My theory on what she would be for Spider-Man 4, I said she might be Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane. Before I recorded that episode, apparently there was a post from Screen Thrill, which is a film account, that said that some people have been speculating that she might be an X-Men character. And then after I posted the highlight, there was a few comments on there that were saying, no, she's gonna be Squirrel Girl. And they were like, well, the way I read them, they were just kind of like they sounded very entitled. Like a lot of those, I'm saying a lot, and like there were so many comments. There was like 4. In reality, there was 4. But the comments were like, the way I read them sounded entitled. They were like, no, she's gonna be Squirrel Girl. She's gonna be like the hero name from Squirrel Girl. And I remembered I completely forgot she existed. But I did remember looking her up years ago. After Strange Multiverse came out, I looked up America Chavez, and I knew she was going to be part of the Young Avengers, so I looked up that same year what the Young Avengers were, and I remember seeing the Squirrel Girl. I don't know where her name is right now, so I just forgot that she existed. I'm so excited for the Young Avengers. There was a clip posted from D23 about Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop. And then I forgot what Ant-Man's daughter's name is. But, you know, like, all of them are supposed to be the next Young Avengers. I'm super excited because it's just, like, a whole new gen. I did grow up being a huge Marvel fan. My uncle like literally used to watch the X-Men cartoons with me and my sister as a kid. Like, we would be posted Saturday mornings. We'd watch some of his cartoons, and then we would watch like our shows after. So we would watch either X-Men, Dragon Ball Z, or like, you know, classic cartoons, Simpsons and all that stuff. And then right after, we would watch That's So Raven, Zack and Cody. Like, it was just a thing that we grew up with. I remember being taken to every single Spider-Man movie when we were kids. Like, it was just like a must. And what really woke me up as a fan was watching Iron Man 3 in theaters. I was just like in awe. The one that got me was the scene where all the suits came and like helped Tony. Like, you know, Jarvis called in all the suits, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, what the fuck? Oh my god, look at War Machine, oh my god. Like, that was the first time I remember being in awe as a Marvel viewer. And ever since then, I've taken every single piece of content, like, super seriously. I rewatched Avengers after that, and I was like, this is so fucking cool, what the fuck? And it became, like, a huge part of my life. I am excited because I did grow up with Marvel, but with this kind of first gen of Marvel, I feel like I've only like fully witnessed it halfway through of the storytelling. So I'm excited for Young Avengers because I've watched this new cast, this new set of heroes from their beginning storylines and to whatever holds in the future. So I'm super, super excited for that. So yeah, there is probably a huge possibility that Sadie Sink will be Squirrel Girl and maybe not Gwen Stacy, which is fucked up. But, like, you know, I don't say fucked up. I mean, like, I'm always wrong. I don't know why I always get my hypes up. But, like, you know, a girl could dream. 2 things I wanted to talk about today. I keep saying that. But 2 things I actually did want to talk about today was, I wanted to talk about my Letterboxd mission because I'm on a personal mission to watch every single romantic movie possible, or like the cliche movies, and kind of just like give an opinion or like why I'm doing this as a mission, a side mission. It's been a little project I've been working on. It's like a solo project. And like nothing's coming out of this, but just the fact that I'm watching more movies. It's a little thing I've been working on since I think I've been thinking about doing it since this time last year, March of last year, but I've actually sat down and started, like, collecting all of the information since, I want to say September of last year, 2024, and I've actually made some pretty good progress. I'm a little anxious right now, I'm shaking a little bit. Again, I've been on this solo mission, and I'm going to get the root to why I started this whole little thing. I'm going to put this on pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, for visual watchers, there is this book that I have in my hand. It's called Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And it's the reason why I started this solo mission of watching a whole bunch of romantic movies and romantic comedy movies. As you can see, it's hugely tabbed. I loved annotating this. Like it was so good. If you haven't read it, I strongly recommend. It's a little nice, airy, kind of refreshing romance book. It's a young adult genre. It's so cute, and it's so... if I'm being honest, I got this book and I was like, I know it's cliche. I know it's going to be cliche. I know it's going to be, like, so predictable. But, like, everyone's reading it and everyone's leaving good reviews on it. So, like, what the fuck, you know? Like, what the hell? Dude, it hooked me on so well, alright? Like, I was already invested by the 3rd chapter. And then, as I read everything, like, as it carried on, I literally caught everything that was going to happen. I was like, I know that's going to happen. I know this is going to happen. Like, it's literally so predictable, like I said. But in the end run, it made me cry. This is the only book that's actually made me cry. And it's only because, like, I read it as I was watching, like, a romantic movie. You know what I mean? Like, with the way I was reading this in my mind, a romantic movie was playing, like a romantic comedy was playing in my mind. And the ending was so cliche, like core to rom-com. And it made me cry. I was like, oh my god, no way! You know how I feel about crying. So it was so good. I strongly recommend it. However, the reason why this started the, what's it called? My dog is trying to smell my book. The reason why I started my little solo project of watching every romantic movie possible is because every chapter that is in this book starts off with a quote from a romantic comedy movie. And a lot of these I've never watched. I've never even knew existed. So I was like, let me see how good the movie is for her to be quoting it. Like, first chapter is a quote from Sweet Home Alabama. Nobody finds their soulmate when they're 10. I mean, where's the fun in that, right? I've never watched that one. Chapter 3, Pretty Woman. You're late, you're stunning, you're forgiven. And the one she quotes a lot is either Bridget Jones. Oh my god, The Wedding Date is in here? Did I watch The Wedding Date? I don't think I watched The Wedding Date. Oh my gosh. A lot of my annotations is... I'm just like flipping through this and a lot of my annotations is... Girl, what the fuck? I haven't... Like, literally, all of my annotations is just me saying, Wes, what the fuck? Liz, what the fuck? Oh, look. 10 Things I Hate About You, quoted in chapter 4. You're not as vile as I thought you were. Hey, love that movie. I watched it right after I read this book and it was really good. The first movie I watched in that little solo project is another quote from 10 Things I Hate About You, but mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close, not even a little bit, not even at all. That iconic scene where she's reading the sonnet from I forgot which one it is, but you know what I mean. Everyone uses that one. Oh, 27 Dresses is in here. Sorry, I think my mic is a little too close. Love is patient, love is kind. Love means slowly losing your mind. I watched that one, but it's not as memorable as she makes it to be. So, a lot of the talk, the main character in this movie very much refers to watching romantic comedy movies with her mother, her late mother. And she said her late mother's favorite movie was Bridget Jones's Diary. And I have a quote here from chapter 8. I like you very much, just as you are. And again, I was reading a lot of these quotes, and I was just like, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of these have significant meanings to them, which is why she put them in the chapter. But again, a lot of these movies I did not ever watch or even was aware of in existence. So I made it a mission to watch as many romantic movies as I can. And thanks to this book, I feel like it's a nice little era that I'm going through. It helps me deal with my emotions a lot. And I really like watching the movies, you know? I like seeing different perspectives of movies. And the only reason why I'm saying, like, it's a big deal to me is because, like I said, when I was crying, I never allowed myself to feel emotions. And I even, like, the first movie I cried at, that I was fully aware of crying in, was Inside Out. And how old was I when Inside Out came out? Probably like 18, 19. But like, hold on, how old was I when Inside Out came out? Ugh, I gotta look it up. Guys. My dog is staring at me. I don't know why. I was 15. Okay, but before that, I didn't allow myself to cry. And Inside Out was the only movie I cried at. You know? So, watching these movies kind of gives me a little bit of a healing perspective. Like, you know, I like feeling my emotions. I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet. And then I would cry. The other reason why I wanted to watch this movie is because I'm turning 25 next month. And I've never been kissed. I've never been asked out. I've been asked out on a date one time. And I feel like I want to tell that story. But I also don't want to tell that story because I want to tell that story in a different form. I've been asked out once, but it wasn't like this big gesture. It was over the phone. And even over the phone, I was feeling like butterflies and I was feeling like I was going to lose my mind. I've never been asked out, never been in a relationship. I've never had anybody reciprocate feelings towards me. I've had multiple fucking crushes. I'm bisexual, and I've had multiple fucking crushes. My earliest crush I can remember was me being, well, the earliest one I could remember, technically speaking, was when I was probably like 8 years old, and oh my god, if I say the story, I sound so delusional, because I'm like, girl, first of all, you're 8 years old, you're a child, why are you thinking about this little kid, you know? I used to go to the zoo a lot because my mom used to work there, and they would have like this arts and crafts section for the kids specifically with activities to do. During this one summer, they had like a family band come and perform at the arts and crafts table. It would be like every other hour that they would have like the little show set. And I watched the first one, and the little kid, it was a family band. So like the kid who was like closest to my age, I was like, oh my god, I was an 8-year-old. I was like, he's so cute. Da, 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 da. I was being like a little kid. So during their break time, like me and that kid, as kids, we were just running around, like playing with the stuffed animals, giggling, laughing. This is as much as I remember. We were like on like the chairs that they had for the band, and I remember for their second show, like he would ask me to come up with them and like play their little caterpillar dance or something for a song that they had. And I thought at the time that romance was blooming, but then we never saw the band again. So like it was just like a little thing that happened. And it was kind of crazy. But like the earliest crush I remember having was when I was 12 years old in the 6th grade. That's a whole different story. But like I've had crushes since I was 12, and a lot of the times, well, I've only confessed to, I think, 3 in total on purpose. Everything else was on accident, or they would find out. And, yeah, a lot of the times, none of them feel the same way. Everybody else thinks I'm cool, but they don't look at me like that person. So, I've never had any sort of romantic interaction possible. I've had a thing going on in my head, okay? But to be honest, the person who was feeding into my delusion, I want to say, was very vocal about us possibly being together. This went on for like a year and a half, okay? Then that person went and gave me the biggest emotional trauma I've ever experienced in my 20 years of, like, in my 20s. And she's actually up here on my wall, but like, that's crazy. Like, me talking about how her and this other person gave me, like, the biggest emotional, like, social trauma, and she's still on my wall, which is kind of crazy. But, like, I don't know how I feel if I want to, you know, if she ever comes up and apologizes, I'd be like, I feel like a big part of me wanted to be like, yeah, I accept your apology. Let's hang out. But at the same time, I gave her so many opportunities. Like, I don't think I'll ever get that. So, I'm at this limbo where I want to consider her my friend, but I know I shouldn't consider her my friend. You know what I mean? And if she wants to consider me a friend, that's completely fine. But she has to start acting like a friend. And I haven't gotten that at all. I've given her so many opportunities from last year, and I'm still waiting. And I still hang out with her because we have a mutual friend. And I'm just like, it's awkward for me because I know there's so much, in my head, there's so much tension. But to her, she just thinks we're still friends. So, why did we get here? How did I get here? Like I said, that person made me believe that I could have possibly gotten my first relationship. And it was because I had a crush on her for 4 years. I finally told her. And she made it seem like it was going to go somewhere. And we just kept openly called each other partners and all this stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Like, she made me believe we were going to go on a date. We were going to be girlfriend and girlfriend. But, like, it just never... Talking about this gives me anxiety. It just never happened, but that's the only time I've ever experienced anything sort of a situationship. And the reason why I want to I started this little romance thing is just to see how romance is displayed in different tropes, different perspectives, and different sort of, tellings. All of these movies, yes, they have the one thing in common, which is it's about romance, it's about love, but they all have different ways of expressing it, whether it's super, super goofy or super, super serious. And I want to see which one was going to be one of my favorites, which one am I going to end up using as a coping movie. I have a long list here. I'm going to try to post it up on the screen. I am going to try to put visual aids for this episode. Whew, I'm running out of breath, but it's a super long list. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. I've gone through 18 movies, which I actually think it might be a little bit more because some of them do have sequels. I've gone through 18 movies. A lot of the reviews are on my Letterboxd. If you guys want to follow me on Letterboxd, it's Crystal, Crystal 1206. That's my username on Letterboxd. And I have a list that's named Romance, and it has a description and everything. But half of these movies are fully reviewed on the list. The other half, I started this before I got Letterboxd, so some of the smaller side of the movie list don't have good reviews as I want them to. They just have a generic, probably 1 or 2 sentences. But I do try to review every single one of these movies through every perspective, through cinematography, storyline, whether it's memorable, whether I loved it, whether I cried, and everything like that. Okay, so the movies I have watched are Never Been Kissed, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, My Best Friend's Wedding, Bridget Jones's Diary. I watched all of the movies after the Bridget Jones Diary one. So I watched the one with, I watched the second one where she went to Thailand, I watched the third one where she got pregnant, and I watched the fourth one that just came out where she fucking became a cougar. I love that bitch. I watched the whole thing over again, all 4 movies with my mom, last month, because we were like, what movie should we watch? And I was like, I have a movie that's gonna be really funny, and you're really gonna like it, and she loved it. So now we both love Bridget Jones. It was funnier watching it with my mom. I've watched When Harry Met Sally. I've watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I've watched 10 Things I Hate About You. I've watched The Notebook, Wedding Planner, 27 Dresses, 13 Going on 30. I've seen it 3 times, and it always hits every time I watch it. I've seen 500 Days of Summer, Serendipity, 50 First Dates, 2 Weeks Notice, Say Anything. And then in here I've also seen 16 Candles, and I added To All the Boys I Loved Before after watching the second season of XO Kitty, because a lot of people on Twitter, I've never realized how big of a classic romance movie To All the Boys I Loved Before has become. But I rewatched it, and honestly it hits every single check mark available. It is a classic, what's it called? What's the word? Classic romance film. Now, some of these I have on here as haven't watched, but in all reality, I have seen them before. I either don't remember what happened, or I would love to see it again fully through because I would only watch clips. Some of them include She's the Man. I don't remember fully seeing The Man. Okay, I know the clips, I know the quotes, brethren. I know the iconic clips that come from She's the Man. I've seen clips of it because I know Channing Tatum is in it, but I don't ever remember sitting through the entire movie and watching it. So that's why she's on my list. She's Out of My League. And again, I think it's that one. Is it that one? Oh, no. She's All That. She's All That is also on my list. Again, I don't remember ever watching it, but I did watch the reboot that came out on Netflix with Addison Rae. He's All That. And I knew the references that some of them made, that were made in that movie. But again, at the same time, how do I know the references if I've never watched a movie? So I have that on here because I have to sit there and watch it. Then I have classics like Sleepless in Seattle, a big classic was When Harry Met Sally and You've Got Mail. Those I feel like those are some of the big classics. And The Notebook. I didn't put Titanic on here because I feel like Titanic is so much more focused on the fact that the ship is crashing. I don't know if I should put Titanic on here. Let me know if I should. But here are some reviews that I feel like might shock some of you guys, because I do review them on my letterbox. So if you ever want to stay up to date, and if I ever watch a new movie, I might watch one this weekend, because this is probably the last weekend I'm gonna have to myself. I start a new job next week. After burp. So just to spend my last 3 a.m. morning fucking movie watch, I might just watch another movie. I have to watch You've Got Mail before it comes out of Netflix. Last year, when I started this in like September, November, I had like made this list, and a lot of the movies back then were available. Like, which one was it? Sorry, I'm breathing. 16 Candles, Notebook, Serendipity, 500 Days of Summer. They were all available like on streaming platforms in like September, November. And then when I've gone through like at least 5 movies that weren't those, I went back to like those same streaming platforms, and they took them out of the like systems for like a month. And I was like panicking. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to rent. The thing is, I don't want to spend money, so I'm trying to like take advantage of as much streaming platforms as possible. So I don't want to like spend like $5.99 to rent the movie. Like, I want to be able to go back if I'm having a bad day and just like watch the movie that's like my comfort movie. For example, one of the ones I did go back and watch was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Again, fantastic movie. Watching it on first watch, I got like the gist of it, and it made me happy. You know, it wasn't one of those movies that made me sad. It made me realize if I'm having a bad day, I'm gonna go back and watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, because I love Kate Hudson. She's so good. She's so cute. Some of the scenes on there made me so giggly, and like, you know, made me feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna be her one day. So it's definitely one of those movies I would go back and watch. I watched it again with my mom, actually. And Bridget Jones is definitely one of those movies I would definitely go back and watch. You know what I mean? Like, those are the type of movies that are on my top for this romance list. Bridget Jones might be one of the movies because of Hugh Grant. Oh! Hugh Grant! That Willy Wonka ass! Love him. Oh my... Let me say something about Hugh Grant. Never knew what he was. Never knew who he was. I never knew he was in Wonka. Like, I know, like, when Timothy Chalamet was on SNL, he made that fucking... Hugh Grant got that Oompa Loompa dumb ass. What the fuck is he talking about? Like, I can't stand Timothy Chalamet. Oh my god. I remember watching that shit like as it streamed on my TV, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh my god. When Timothy Chalamet said that, I was like, okay, who the fuck is Hugh Grant? I've never fully watched Wonka, by the way. I watched it on a plane ride, and it got to the part where the Oompa Loompa came up, but then after that, I fucking knocked the fuck out and never finished it. I didn't know who Hugh Grant was, until I watched Bridget Jones. Mind you, this is my first full impression of Hugh Grant. When I watched Bridget Jones, so if you guys don't know, Bridget Jones's whole story arc is basically, it's kind of like a work romance thing, and it's like, it's work romance, but the main plot is kind of, second chance, and also kind of enemies to lovers, because they hate each other in the beginning. But Hugh Grant's character, he's like very, very much playboy, and he's the boss of Bridget Jones. And spoiler alert, if you're gonna watch it, if you've never seen it before, skip a part. I'm gonna try to put like a time stamp on the screen so you can skip it, but again, there will be spoilers. Hugh Grant is the boss of Bridget Jones, and they get a little flirty and stuff, and he gets a little, he's super super playboy-esque, and he loves to flirt, like, dirty talk kind of thing. My camera's shaking. And it's again, this is my first impression of him, and there's this scene where they're finally going out on dinner after texting each other risque things over their work emails, and her dressing a little slutty for him specifically. They finally go out on this dinner date, and he's like, so, how do you know this mutual person, which is another, it's kind of like a love triangle kind of thing. How do you know this said person? She's like, apparently I was rolling around naked in his yard when we were kids. And oh my god. Oh my god. I just remembered. For the first time I've ever watched this, I was actually watching it at the dinner table. My bad. My mom and I were doing our screen times, okay? Like, I was having my iPad time, she was having her TV time because she was watching, like, a telenovela on Netflix. So, I was eating dinner. It was probably, like, pasta or something. And I was eating dinner on the table, having my screen time on my iPad. I was watching this movie. And the whole time I'm watching it, like, to me, I have to watch a movie with, like, commentary, with some sort of reaction. Like, that's how I invest myself into anything. Even when it comes to reading, like, I have to, like, if I'm reading something to myself, there's something that's funny, I'm like, that motherfucker did not. Like, I have to say something out loud so I could be, like, invested and immersed in it, right? I think I have 10 minutes left. but so I'm over here hollering. I'm like, I have my headphones on. I'm hollering, I'm screaming, I'm like blushing. I'm like, there's no way this girl, like, I can't believe she wore it. Why would she say that? Like, I'm saying this shit out loud with headphones on. And and like I'm watching a movie like this, and she's like, rolling around his yard naked. And he was like, the line he said, it sticks with me. The line he says, I bet you were, you dirty bitch. What the? Oh my god! When I tell you I paused the movie, oh my god! There's something about Hugh Grant and that line that just literally fucking drives me insane. And I don't know if it's the fact that he's British. That motherfucker is so sexy, okay? He's sexy as fuck, and he's British. But, like, he ends up fucking up, and it made me hate him for a while, but I love him so bad. So, that being said, I did watch a lot of the movies on this list because he was on it. Four Weddings and a Funeral is him, and, like, you know, it was a movie he filmed when he was younger. So good. It's so good. It's not very dialogue-y. Like, there's no consistent, you know, back and forth flirting. It's one of those movies that do, like, time jumps and stuff. So, I do recommend watching it. I recommend sticking around. Like, really just wait till the end of the movie to get, like, you know, your happy ending. But, like, he looks so fucking good in that shit. There's a clip of, there's a picture of him with, like, glasses from that movie that I'm just like, the things I would do to see that man, like, this state of Hugh Grant in person. Oh my god, please. Please. Yeah, Four Weddings and a Funeral I watched because of him. There's another one, Say Anything, also watched because, no, not Say Anything. Say Anything is the one with the speakers. Oh my god, which one was the one I watched? 2 Weeks Notice, with Sandra Bullock. It's a good movie. Huge, loved it. Based in New York. It's a really good movie. Strongly recommend. I have 8 minutes left, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. But basically, I do want to talk about this list as I go on. Again, I only have 18 movies in. I have other classics, like I said, You've Got Mail. Another movie I want to quickly talk about, When Harry Met Sally. I love it so much. It's actually, I have it listed on my Letterboxd as favorites. My friend Cheyenne, she told me I was going to love it, and I was like, oh, well, I don't know, because, you know, only a few of these movies have actually made me cry. By the way, The Notebook didn't make me cry. I just don't. I love Ryan Gosling. He looks so good in it. I just didn't. Why are we crying? You know, like, I get the whole line, like, oh, you know, he still loves her as you know, she has this memory thing, and she forgets who he is. He's still willing to, like, visit her every single day and remind her of the stories. There's a movie like that. There's actually, I'm not even gonna fucking lie, I just watched a movie that had that exact same plot. I'm being so dead ass. I seriously just watched something that had that exact same storyline. I did not know that, but I don't know what it is. What the fuck was it? And it was like something like that just came out recently too. Oh my god, what the fuck? But yeah, I get that that's the whole soppy kind of romance aspect to the whole storyline, but I just don't. Oh my god, now I'm trying to figure out what the fuck was it that I watched. Is it on Peacock? Also, by the way, watch Nosferatu. That motherfucker is freaky as fuck. What the fuck? What are we even talking about? Like, what do you mean? You must bounce on it. I'm gonna forget. I'm not gonna be able to finish this. I have 5 minutes. Oh my god, I need to know what the fuck am I talking about? What did I just watch? Where's my watch it again list? Because I'm pretty fucking sure I've watched what I just explained, which is the Notebook plot, okay? I watched it on Netflix. But anyways, I get that's the whole romantic part of it, but I'm just like, honestly, I didn't see it. You know, I didn't see it as I didn't see it as like a, oh, that's so cute. Tear, tear, tear. No, I just like, that's nice of him. I understand. You know, this is the love of his life. He would do anything for her. I understood that. When I watched When Harry Met Sally, though, that's a whole different story. I fucking sobbed. First of all, a big part of me wanted to watch it because there's so many classic scenes. The scene where she's like faking the orgasm in the deli shop. The scene where they have that little bed moment. The scene where he gives this whole monologue about how much he loves her. I knew about all of this because of this book. Because it would quote When Harry Met Sally. And I knew it was a staple to the romantic comedy enthusiast. And again, my friend Cheyenne told me that I was going to love it. But when I watched it, I don't know if it was Billy Crystal that made me love it so much. He has a charm to him that just makes you love him and his character like almost immediately. And I think it's the Long Island in him. I don't know. Who knows? Me trying to do a Long Island impression. I've always loved Billy Crystal. Hello, if you guys don't know who Billy Crystal is, he is the voice of Mike Wazowski. And that voice is just always so comforting and childhood, like, nostalgic to me. So watching this movie, it just made me love him even more because I got to break him out of a Mike Wazowski kind of set, and I broke him into Harry. And oh my god, I love this movie so much. And I think what made me love it so much is that they were literally strangers. They were strangers who seemed to hate each other. And then they grew up knowing every single thing about each other. And then they gained this bond where they just realized too long, because if you don't know, it took 12 years in the making for them to actually be together. That whole process, that, you know, it made me realize romance is definitely a trust the process kind of thing. And it's something that I doubt so much because, like I said, I'm 25 and I've never experienced anything close to romance. But, like, seeing them just take so long with their feelings and take so long with their care for each other. It took them so long to finally realize that they love each other. It's a trust the process thing. And I just have to trust my process. So yeah, a lot of these movies are like letting me learn things about myself that I should be doing if I want to find any romance in my future, which is fun. But at the same time, it's like I'm super impatient. I'm just like, a lot of the times outside of me watching these movies, I'm like, I need someone like now. I need someone to love me. But yeah, if you guys want to hear any more reviews of the movies that I am watching, I'm more than likely going to do them next episode. I wanted to review every single movie I had listed on this list so far, but I'm running out of time, so I am probably going to have to do it the next episode. I did want to talk about, actually, before I started crying my eyes out, I wanted to talk about the Korean idols I've seen and kind of rank my experiences with them, because it is getting easier to have professional and official interactions with your faves, and a lot of people are doing it super, super wrong. And also, I've gone pretty viral for some of the moments that I didn't intend on doing, and I just kind of want to give a backstory, because every time I see my videos go around, a lot of the comments on them are like, why did you do that? Why did you say that? And I figured this would be my way to explain myself instead of just constantly having to like say this thing and this other thing. But time it is wrapping up. I have about an hour and 20 minutes in here. So, that being said, I am going to wrap this up, and I want to say thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I am so sorry for crying, like, instantly. I did not mean to cry so soon in the episode, but it was just, like, a huge ramble on of emotions, and that's the only reason why I ended up crying, because I very freely talk about my feelings, and when I do, I get super emotional about it. I promise not to cry in the next episode. Let me know what you guys think about this one. What are some of your favorite romantic movies ever? Because I would love to add more to my list. I feel like I have a lot, but I also don't have enough. And let me know what you guys think about this episode. I don't know, leave me a comment, like I said, about what your favorite movie is. What's your favorite romance book? And follow me on my social medias for the podcast. I'm on TikTok and Instagram as Another Podcast TP. You guys could also subscribe to this channel for all the future episodes, and subscribe to my main channels for some vlogs and some reaction content as well. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening to me cry for an hour. I will see you next week for sure. Bye!